Well, a couple of things. First of all, whose balls is he hiding in his cheeks?
Yeah.
That's the first question I want to know. And I don't love the way he says, fierce.
Yeah.
Bullshit is that? No, you don't, sir. We don't lie about military service we didn't actually perform, like going to war. We don't steal valor by saying that we had a higher rank in the national...
Picture this. Tim Walz suddenly finds himself caught between two very different forces, and neither one is showing mercy. On one side stands Megyn Kelly, calm, surgical, and famous for dismantling people with precision. On the other is Tyrus, a walking wrecking ball whose microphone feels more like a blunt instrument. Watching them team up is like seeing someone stroll into what they thought was a friendly meet and greet, only to realize it's a full-scale ambush. The jokes come fast, the hits land hard, and before long, politics fades into the background. What's left is pure, ruthless comedy, delivered in sharp suits and sharper words, hitting harder than most late-night monologues ever could.
Is deeply part of it. That's one of the, I think it goes, and you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement.
He's fighting.
And well, this
I think I think most of their...
What he's mad about is his own fault. He's mad about the image that was portrayed of him as the hunter. And who did that? You did that. We just laughed about it because the one thing you can't do is you can't front. You can't floss. Those are two key words when it comes to manhood.
You'll want to buckle up for this one. So hit like and subscribe, because things ignite immediately. There's no warm-up. Tyrus doesn't ease into the conversation. He storms in like a former wrestler spotting an all-you-can-eat buffet and heading straight for his favorite plate. And that plate is Tim Walz, Minnesota's governor. Walz probably expected a routine political day, smiling for cameras, shaking hands, tossing out a dad joke or two. Instead, he walked straight into a verbal crossfire. With Kelly and Tyrus slicing through the moment like expert chefs wielding razor-sharp knives, Walz was suddenly the main course in a full-blown roast.
Who, just when you think no one's sitting at this table, neither she nor the big white blanket, can embarrass themselves any further, he does. She asks him, to her credit, about the carrying the weapons in war, which we know is a lie. He never served in war. He's been stealing valor for quite some time. And take a listen.
You could almost hear Walz's carefully crafted public image splintering in real time. He spent years trying to balance the role of serious governor with the vibe of a friendly hometown coach, the guy cheering from the sidelines while awkwardly fumbling a clipboard. He's often framed as the regular, relatable everyman who somehow wandered into the governor's office by accident. But as the pressure mounted, that folksy charm started to wobble, revealing just how fragile the act really was.
You carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing,
A teacher snatches the bully's ass up.
Yeah.
Come sit with me. That's why I know someone's bullying. Oh, you can sit with me for a while. And then I would lean on him. I'd bully him back. He's not a teacher. He's not a politician. He's a creepy guy.
Tyrus wasn't buying the image. Not for a second. To him, the whole thing felt off, like corny presentation wrapped around strange energy. Less governor, more substitute gym teacher who wandered into the wrong meeting and somehow started approving state budgets. Megyn Kelly, though, came in with a different mission. Focused. Precise. Like a prosecutor who's been waiting all week for a flimsy alibi to collapse. She sliced through Walz's contradictions effortlessly, proving she could dismantle a reputation with the calm precision of a scalpel, while Tyrus delivered the heavy blows.
My grammar's not always correct, but again, if it's not this, it's in the back of my building for showing love for me, or it's on my dog.
This took chutzpah. Let's go through it. You said you carried weapons in war, but you've never deployed in a war zone. Campaign official of yours said you misspoke. Did you? Well, I'm proud, incredibly proud of my record. He keeps doing this. Equally proud of my service in the class. Did I mention I was a teacher and a coach, an assistant coach? Okay, whatever. But he's more stolen valor. I'm in the classroom. My record speaks for itself. It doesn't, actually. You've put a lot of lies into that record that you've been called.
By the end of it, Walz looked like someone bragging about acing an exam, only to find out it was graded on a curve and he barely scraped by. But this wasn't random roasting. Kelly and Tyrus treated him like a dish everyone pretends to love, even though no one actually wants seconds. Walz's resume, former teacher, football coach, small-town politician, sounds charming on a campaign flyer. In reality, it reads like the setup for a sitcom about a coach who accidentally stumbles into politics. He leans hard into the everyman routine. Flannel shirts, corny jokes, friendly smiles. But when real policy enters the picture, the cracks appear, and they're impossible to ignore. His pandemic record only made things worse, something Tyrus found almost comical. Lots of shouting from the sidelines, very little clarity about where the end zone actually was.
In that White House, or was everyone on the same bad cocaine? But Kamala can't speak, he can't speak, Biden was so high he couldn't remember anything. Like, this is literally the dumbest administration of all time. Why is he talking?
It really is the ultimate clown show, and I said this in the 5. He's a clown without a circus.
He doesn't even need makeup.
He's roaming the terrain. Is there...
Things truly unraveled when the George Floyd protests put Minnesota under a global spotlight. This was Walz's moment to show decisive leadership. Instead, viewers watched him swing between hesitation and overreaction. 1 minute easing off the gas, the next slamming the brakes, political whiplash in real time. The lack of consistency left everyone guessing. And when it came to education, Tyrus didn't let him slide either. Walz loves reminding people he's the educator, the coach who cares about kids. But critics point out the irony. When real decisions were required, his policies often felt disconnected, like a coach preaching teamwork while forgetting to bring a playbook to the game.
As your campaign had tried to do, and now you appear to be distancing yourself from that clarification. And then here's, two pieces of this that are really... I speak like they do. People are coming to get to know me. I speak like they do. I speak candidly. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And I speak especially passionately about, and then he goes on to blame it on the school shootings. I guess he was upset about school shootings, so he lied. But stop saying you speak like we do. I speak like...
Megyn Kelly wasted no time tearing into Walz's everyman persona. She pointed out how he claims to stand with ordinary people, yet repeatedly makes decisions that hurt them most. It's like a lifeguard promising safety, then tossing swimmers a concrete block instead of a life preserver. That's why the tag team takedown worked so well. It wasn't just about policy, it was about dismantling the entire image. The slogans, the flannel, the staged photo ops, all of it collapsed under scrutiny. Supporters call him compassionate and progressive. Critics see a shiny exterior hiding unreliable performance, like a brand new car that looks great in the driveway but lives at the repair shop.
Bad for Elon. I would be furious if I was him. If this is who you sent to troll me?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong to get the guy from D Team to come out at Family Theater and call me names?
Yeah.
Like, Tim, I would, if they were like, oh, Tyrus, man, tough news cycle. Tim Walz is talking about you. I'd be like...
What really caught people off guard is that Walz isn't just a regional figure anymore. He's being floated on the national stage, even whispered about as potential VP material. That's why this moment felt less like a joke and more like a warning shot. If Kelly's precision and Tyrus's blunt force already leave him rattled, how does he survive a national campaign? To Tyrus, Walz talks tough without ever showing a scoreboard. To Kelly, he's a polished salesman pushing policies that don't quite deliver. At this rate, coaching a local little league team might be safer than chasing the White House.
I watched him last night, and I thought he was amazing. He is a spectacular speaker. He had that rally in the palm of his hand. He's way more effective than she is or Joe Biden is. For the first time that I can remember, had like a feeling of fear rise up in my throat because I know what he's permitting in Minnesota when it comes to children, which, we talk about one of the defining issues of our time is the way we treat our animals, our livestock.
Tyrus summed it up brutally. Walz calls himself the people's coach, but might struggle to lead a dodgeball team. Players running in circles, the ball untouched, plenty of yelling, zero strategy. Kelly went even further, exposing how Walz talks toughness but governs inconsistently, promises compassion yet creates confusion. After the George Floyd tragedy, Minnesota needed steady leadership. Instead, critics say Walz hesitated, reacted late, or overcorrected, turning a moment that demanded clarity into one marked by chaos.
I want to fight him so bad. Why won't he just answer my tweets, my DMs, like just one arm? And I just want to slap the He's so weak. He brings nothing. If you were going to go after someone, man to man, hit him with...
In crisis after crisis, Walz seemed desperate to please everyone, and ended up pleasing no one. He'd comfort one side, hesitate with the other, and leave both frustrated. Kelly nailed it. Leadership built on appeasement collapses fast. It's like a waiter confidently serving the wrong order and insisting it's exactly what you asked for. Under Walz, businesses never knew when rules might suddenly change, especially during COVID. And the irony. The former teacher who promised stronger schools presided over declining performance, explosive curriculum debates, and rising costs. Even the coach of the people couldn't keep his classroom in order.
There was Oliver Wendell Holmes, and actually you can, I don't believe you're a lawyer, Governor Walz. You can yell fire in a crowded theater, and you can say hateful things, because this is the United States of America, and it's right there in Amendment number 1. It's one of our favorites, was one of the founders' favorites, and was one of the founding principles upon which this country was built. There's no exception for speech. Tim Walz or Kamala Harris magically deemed hateful. But they've been pushing this, both of them, and a lot of Democrats have, for quite some time. These young Democrats on college campuses say that they believe.
Walz's record doesn't exactly shine, especially for someone who brands himself as the educator-in-chief. Kelly pointed out the uncomfortable truth. When the thing you brag about most becomes your weakest area, people notice. It's like a chef boasting about greatness, then burning the soup live on stage. Tyrus put it plainly. Walz is a movie trailer promising explosive action, only to deliver a slow, confusing drama. And Kelly's warning landed hard. If he struggles to manage Minnesota, handing him national responsibility would be like promoting the person who ruined the company picnic to CEO.
And here's the cold part. If Elon called him up and said, hey, Tim, you want a job? He would take it. Because that's what's spineless. He would, and when he was questioned, he was like, I was just holding him in account. And I respect him, and I'm so happy to be working for X. He is the worst player on their team, and they don't mind sending him out because
They're trying to get him off the table.
Yeah.
They're putting him out early so he...
This goes beyond one governor. To critics, Walz represents a broader trend in modern politics, leaders built on branding more than results. Slick visuals, friendly messaging, and polished sound bites that crumble under pressure. Kelly and Tyrus exposed a style dependent on slogans instead of substance. Supporters rushed to defend him, but even they couldn't ignore the growing list of unresolved problems. Watching it unfold felt almost comical, like seeing a boxer trip over his own feet mid-fight.
Tim Walz. Okay, Jen Psaki, she's a talking head, whatever. But Tim Walz was recently the vice presidential candidate on the Democratic ticket. Maybe you'd expect a little better, a little higher in terms of the rhetoric. You would be disappointed. Here is
Morning, and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you...
So chipper. Don't worry, there will be news. In other words, Trump will die.
You almost start to feel sympathy for Walz, until you remember he's the governor, and his decisions affect millions. That's why the humor cuts so deep. The stakes are real. Can he recover from this? Or will he be remembered as another overhyped politician who couldn't live up to the image he sold? For years, he marketed himself as the patient, caring coach next door. But once Kelly and Tyrus peeled back the layers, that image came loose like old wallpaper losing its glue.
Look, he has a sports coat and a zip-up sweater underneath. No man wears that.
I may have done that in the past.
Yes.
I won't now, Tyrus.
No, and one day somebody's going to explain what a corporate income tax is to these people. It's not paid by this. It's not paid by the corporation. It's not like a building that goes, I've got to pay taxes.
In the end, it became effortless to point out the contradictions, the hesitation, and the speeches that never quite matched reality. When a leader's record reads like a highlight reel of uncertainty, it's hard to sell strength. And this wasn't just about Minnesota. As Walz's national profile grew, so did the scrutiny, and the story unraveled fast. Up close, the coach-turned-leader narrative collapsed like a folding chair in a wrestling ring. It looked great in campaign ads, sure. But that's exactly why this takedown hit so hard. It wasn't just entertaining, it was revealing.